Hi everyone, we're beginning week 6. This week our focus shifts to instructional strategies to assist struggling readers and students of diversity, including ELLs. You're also going to be examining your personal cultural views through a taxonomy of cultural responsiveness, which is in the PowerPoint. By the end of the week, you will have investigated strategies for helping struggling readers and students of diversity, including English as second language learners. You will have developed an understanding of key educational topics, which is your research paper, which is due week 7, and your presentation. You will have developed strategies for using writing in the content areas. Understand the purpose of formative and summative assessments, and as I said earlier, to examine your personal cultural views on a taxonomy of cultural responsiveness. Chapter 11 from the Zemelman-Daniels text is your reading for this week. Week 6 PowerPoint. The read aloud this week is How to Make an Apple Pie and See the World. CAEP. What is that? The Council for the Accreditation of Educator Preparation. So this standard states that candidates reflect on their personal biases and access resources that deepen their own understanding of cultural, ethnic, gender, sexual orientation, language, and learning differences to build stronger relationships and to adapt practice to meet the needs of each learner. The ODE has information on diversity. It's listed under accountability. It's on the state and local report cards. The ILRC, look at your district or county to find the diversity of students. A taxonomy of cultural responsiveness. And right now this is quite a hot topic in our country. Generally speaking, we are all aware of cultural differences. And some of us may be even sensitive to cultural differences. To be responsive to cultural differences, that's when you are saying, no, this is not right. You know, everyone is equal. It doesn't matter if you are Hispanic or if you are Italian or if you are French. Your nationality does not matter. We're all Americans, so everyone should be treated the exact same way. So think about where you are on this pyramid. Principles guiding instruction of second language speakers. There's lots of acronyms and abbreviations when you talk about English language learners, and it gets a bit confusing. So here's a glossary for you. How do we facilitate the academic growth of English language learners? Well, through your forums, I know that you all have a strong commitment to the success of your students. You've written that time and time again. We need to show respect and interest in the students' cultural backgrounds. You know, how can we do that? Is there a way that we could involve their culture and observe some of it in the classroom? Can we have parents or grandparents come in and speak on a topic? Emphasize functional communication in the classroom. We need to modify the language that we're using during instruction. We still need to use academic language. We just need to make sure that our English language learners understand that academic language. Make the instructions as clear as possible. Use non-print resources and human resources to scaffold instruction. And establish consistent and explicit classroom patterns and routines. Resources for teaching ELLs. There are tons of resources available. Here are just a few. The CoBuild Collins Dictionary. I've mentioned that before. It is a dictionary where the definitions are written for students and by students. It's in kid-friendly language, and it works quite well with ELLs. Principles for working with struggling readers. Well, first of all, you need to know what they can do, not what they can't, but what can they do? Keep them engaged. Build on those strengths of what they can do and set high expectations. Increase their exposure to a number of high-quality texts. Read alouds fit in several times throughout your day. Increase the time they spend reading and writing and teach them effective strategies for each. If you reflect on some guided reading lessons that you can find on the internet, if you time those lessons and actually look at the amount of time that a child spends reading in that guided reading group, it is amazing how little time some of those children get actually reading, because the teacher's just talking and talking and talking. We want the children reading and writing. And it's our job to provide strategies for reading and for writing. Provide explicit instruction and monitor the pace of our teaching. Be sure that the tasks are within the control of the student and allow them to make choices. Make directions clear and repeat if needed to make sure they understand the rationale for each assignment. If you're going to ask students to read something, give them the reason why. Don't just say, read this article on comets. No, if you're giving them an assignment, you better have rationale to back up why you're giving that assignment. Struggling readers. We need to make sure that we provide predictability and routine with struggling readers. Give them short-term goals. Help them get started. Check on them often and reward their success. Make sure that they get to participate in heterogeneous groupings. Provide extra support to help them perform well in front of the class. Use technology as a support, and highlight and applaud their work. How can we provide support to struggling readers? Make sure you have an extensive, varied collection of books at suitable levels. Most public libraries have a library book sale once a year or once every couple years. Those sales are great places to pick up books. Ordering through Scholastic Books or Seesaw or Troll. Provide book talks that cater to those who are reading on the easier levels. Help them design and give book talks to each other. Work with your parents. Encourage 20 to 30 minutes of independent reading per night. Check on that reading at home. Hold them accountable, the parents and the students, for that. direct attention to features of nonfiction text, and how to take info from them. You're going to conference with struggling student readers more frequently than others. You're going to observe their reading behaviors, their word-solving strategies. If children are struggling with handwriting, have a computer or an iPad available for them to use. Seat struggling readers next to classmates who serve as good role models. Help struggling readers find books that are easier to read and talk with them about the books. It's not so much finding books that are easier for them to read, but books that are on their appropriate instructional level. Support students' ability to construct meaning. Construct meaning. How do we do that? Well, we're going to provide introductions that link the content of the text to the struggling student's background knowledge. If they don't have any background knowledge, then you're going to have to build that knowledge for them. Engage in rich conversations about texts before reading, during reading, and after reading. Try some different strategies: reciprocal teaching, cloze procedures, modified cloze, paired reading, echo reading. Word-solving strategies. Children don't automatically know how to take words apart. So with all children, we need to teach them how to do that, especially those that are struggling readers. Teach them effective ways to spell words, looking at patterns in words, not giving them a list of 15 words to memorize for a spelling test on Friday. No, it goes back to, okay, what do my students know about spelling? How am I going to find that out? Well, I'm going to give them a spelling inventory, and I'm going to score each child's inventory, and then that's going to tell me what they know and what they're ready to learn next. Words Their Way is an incredible resource for this. So if you don't have Words Their Way on your professional shelf, I highly suggest you get it. They have lots of word study lessons at various levels. When children are writing, draw their attention to conventions. Only attend to 1 or 2 conventions at a time. And you're going to attend to these conventions once the students have gotten their message on the paper. Sometimes we get so carried away with capital letters, spacing, and periods, we don't allow the children to get their idea on the paper. And that's the whole purpose of writing, to get that idea down to communicate with others. Enrich struggling readers' daily language with talk about words. I know some teachers have a word of the day. Find ways to help students connect words. Give them tools to understand words, and use games and puzzles to support word learning. Forum 6.1 is a response to your textbook reading. This is your PowerPoint response activities for week 6. You only have 3 points this week. They are each worth 10 points. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you.